Welcome to the Wheel Watch channel. We have for the team SHAQ. This is season 3, episode 5. But I'm a little distraught based upon today's topic in today's episode. But before I even get started, drop that beat. Welcome to the Wheel Watch channel. One half of the team SHAQ. Got some guests in the building today. Got my brother, my little brother, Max. He's on the panel today. It's going to be a wonderful episode. I even got Bryan Greenlee. Thank you for coming back, man, to excellent episode last week. Thank you so much for coming back. You did an amazing job. It was one of the amazing topics that I had to that you just pushed me through to get through. It was a touchy subject, but we managed to motivate the people and get the message out there to the audience. So appreciate that, my brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man, for having me back again. I'm blessed to be on the show and I love what you're doing. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Max, you got anything you want to say before we get started?
I just want to say I appreciate you, having me on the show, and I look forward to what we, get into today.
All right, right. And I'm glad you brought that up because I just thank y'all for y'all time, and we're not even gonna waste no time, so we're just gonna get right straight to it. Now, I guess you guys probably out there wondering, okay, now why your guests look so relaxed and so comfortable, and you have on a suit and you have on a tie and a dress shirt. Well, those of you that know me know it took a lot for me to just drive up to Wheel Y Studios today and to just be able to record based upon what I see on the news and what I see going on. And if you and I want to and I want to say this, I don't wear ties and suit unless I mean business. So I mean business because I want to come with a business mindset and want to get straight to the point and call out a bunch of cowards um, that that deserve to be called out. And if you have a heart and you have someone that you care about, you know how anger and evil this act was and the disgrace and violence that I'm talking about. He was a FedEx driver. He was a skateboard operator. He was a son and he was a father of a 4-year-old. Who am I talking about? Talking about Tyree Nichols, who was beaten to death in the city of Memphis by 5 cowards, black officers. Their names are Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Justin Smith, and Emmett Martin III, who I stand before and say, you are cowards, you are murderers, you are liars, and you are bullies. And I mean business because Tyree Nichols, who was only 29 years old, and that's why I call you Bryan and you my little brother Max to just get you guys perspective, and I want to know how you guys feel on this behavior because I'm sure you guys heard of what went on in the city of Memphis. There's
Hmm.
footage out, um, and I just want to get you guys take. How do you guys feel about the disgrace, humility that these 5 black officers, who I refer to as cowards and punks, that don't even deserve to be wearing a badge. How do you guys feel based upon the act of what you've seen? And if anybody want to take a jab at it, um, I'm a shut up and just let you guys go. But I'm really upset right now.
Great intro. is sickening. And it's to the point now we see this on a regular, normalized basis. We have now normalized the very thing that we see with police interacting with civilians on a regular basis, normalizing the brutality and ultimately the killing of American citizens. I say American citizens because that's who he was. He was an American citizen, but it just seems to be repetitive to a particular group of people on a regular basis. And it's sickening. I had to try to watch this. I was not going to watch this because I didn't want to bring anybody's numbers up for viewing, but I had to stomach through this horrific video so that I can be able to bear witness and be able to speak for those that they can't speak for themselves. However, enough is enough, and we need to empower ourselves. We need to bring that power back to ourselves as a group and be able to, be change agents. So that's how I feel about that. Max, what's your thought, champ?
Man, like I just kind of seen a video. I've been heard about it. Like my wife was telling me, like you heard about the, Tyree Nichols case, and I was like, I heard, but I ain't really seen it. So I watched it before, like coming on here, and I can't lie, like I was just like, it almost made me want to tear up because it
Mm-hmm.
was messed up. Like not trying to be on a racism or nothing, but like our own people like attacking us, not just it just I don't even know what to say. It's already hard enough for us to do what we got to do on a regular dealing with police, but now we can't even feel protected even by our own people, and it's just messed
Mm-hmm.
up.
Yeah.
Right, right. And I just thank you guys for just y'all input on that. Now Brian, you alluded to you know, you couldn't hardly watch it, and I'm glad you did watch it. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't hardly watch it for the numbers of for you didn't want to watch it because of somebody numbers that was wanted to go up. And I agree with you. It was hard for me to watch. I shed tears because and Max, I know that you alluded to, you saw a little footage of it. You was told by your wife of what happened, and then you saw it, and it's our own people. Right, it is our own people, but it's getting to a point, like you said, Brian, we're seeing this thing repeated. How many more videos do we have to see? It's getting to a point for me, just for me. I want to go back. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
Tyree Nichols, 29 years old. Me and this guy, we share the same age. That's why I'm so bothered about the issue. And if I'm in it, and if I have a message to these 5 black officers, do me like that. Do me like that. I know a lot of times we hear the statement, I just want to go home. Well, watching that footage, and I want to go back because he was only 150 pounds, and all 5 of these officers, they tried to disguise their body cam. I don't know if you guys watched that part as
Mm-hmm.
well. They tried to disguise and get away. My mother used to always say this: "What goes on in the darkness must come to a light." And they actually tried to disguise their body cam, but what they did not know is that there was a surveillance camera on a pole that picked up the beating, the pepper spraying, the
Mm-hmm.
tasing. I mean, Desmond Mills, he even take out his baton
That's right.
and even tried to hit. Matter of fact, they even goes a step further and tried to use his head, kick him in the face like his head is a field goal
Mm-hmm.
as he handcuffed. Again, do me like that. Do me like that.
And
Because I guarantee you, one on one, none of them won't stand a chance with me. Because as you said, Max, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. You said it's our own people. It's not about black. It's not even about white. It's about blue. And the way it sees towards black.
Mhm.
That's my ultimate way. So how do you guys feel on that? Do you, because at the end of the day, it's about blue, and it's and all I saw was a bunch of thugs with a bunch of badges on. So how do you
Right.
guys, I don't think it's black and white no more, because if you go back, the only footage that you saw was a white Caucasian hand. He turned on his body cam, and we saw it was alluded to allegedly traffic stop, but I would have ran too.
Mhm.
Tyree Nichols complied with all the 150 pounds that he were. So I
Mhm.
want to ask you guys, is it black? Is it white? Is it black or black? Or is it just simply about blue?
Oh wow. Um, as man, I keep going over all these different encounters with this thin blue line called the police force. With the Eric Garners, the Philando Castillos, and I can go on and on and on and on about the encounters that were minor infractions, by the way. And it wasn't like they were in hunt for FBI's most wanted who killed 3, 4, 5 people, and he's on this list. A traffic violation. And it's alleged. It's alleged it was a traffic violation. There's no proof to say that that took place. Okay. And number two, does it bother me that it was black officers that did this to another black citizen? Absolutely, because that was the gut punch. That we don't even have any regards for our own people with treating them like human beings, treating them with dignity and respect, even after subduing him and controlling him. There was no effort to try and even bring medical attention. They treated him like a wounded dog. Matter of fact, less than a dog, because Tito would have been all over it if it was a dog being beat like that. And I'm being straight up with that. Okay. So that's what hurts me more. And you said something in your monologue, SHAQ, that they were kicking him in the face. Now, mind you, they're not kicking him with tennis shoes on their feet. They're kicking him with boots, probably steel toe boots. Just think about that a little bit. Okay. And there's some more, but I will digress right now and pass the mic to Max. And I'm sure, Max, what's your thoughts, man?
So you said it's not black, it's not white, but you said it's blue, like with the officers. To me, I feel like it's not even blue. I feel like it's good and bad, right and wrong. Because
Right,
I feel like if you a good person, then you gonna do good things. And like if any of them was good people, somebody should have stopped them and be like, hold on now, it's getting out of hand, like, but what's good and what's bad? I'm sorry, hold on. But what's good, we can't really say what's good too, because I feel like maybe they did something yesterday that was good that made them good, but I don't know. I just feel like in your heart, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know what's good, you know what's bad. So I feel like it's just good and bad people that work for the police
right,
department.
right. And Max, that's really we're kind of really saying the same thing when I say about the blue, because if you think about everybody, whether you're an Asian, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're any type of race, when you put on that blue uniform, your goal as a police officer is to protect and serve, right? As I mentioned before, they tried to disguise their body cam, meaning they tried to get away with going home. And then they lied. They had their body cams on, and then they said, "Oh man, he high on some. Oh man, he high. Oh, he was smoking. He geeked up or something."
Hmm.
Basically, what I say is this, right? What police officers have to understand is this: your body cam is your attorney. Your body cam speaks for you, but you tried to hide it because You can say this, that person can say, the streets talking, saying something about, like you said, Brian, it was a traffic stop. I'm even hearing, I'm getting reports is from the producers telling me that it was about an ex-girlfriend. So let me get this
Yeah.
straight, Demetrius Haley, this actually is all over a girl.
Hold on.
So
I want to say something real quick. I do not want to disparage this man's character based on an alleged, it's alleged, and trying to make a
right,
connection
right, right,
between
right,
this
right, right,
man
right.
working at FedEx and the ex-girlfriend or girlfriend or spouse or whoever this person was in relationship to that officer. There, even the parents came out to discredit that rumor. So I don't want to. I want to deal in the facts. The facts is what we saw. We don't know what motives are, but when I saw it, when I initially saw that, I instantly thought this was personal. It was gang related because it was so violent.
Okay.
And another issue that, and I, ooh, I hope your viewers don't think this, but if you think this, I'm about to hit you with the hammer. They always say, why was he resisting? Why didn't he just simply comply? Do you know that they pulled up on him in unmarked vehicles in the hood? Do you think they are instantly going to think these are police officers coming up on me, rolling up on me like this? And actually, I'm blessed that Tyree didn't have a weapon on him because he was all in the right to protect himself with the way they rolled up on him, but ripping his door open and yanking him out of the car. Did not identify themselves as officers, did not knock on the door because they had him pinned in, and act accordingly with some damn sense and engage a civilian and say, look, we're police officers. We pulled you over for this reason. I need you to exit the vehicle. They already had him pinned. If you heard the audio, he was confused as to what was going on. And police training, and I know this is going to get into later about police reform,
No,
but
we can get
police,
into we can get into it now. As far as the training while, go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
Now, with regards to training, there have been multiple officers that have come forward in various districts and other areas, other states, that say that this is a part of their training to initiate stop resisting, even if the person is not it is not resisting. They have this automatic response to say stop resisting, and then they know they're being recorded visually as well as their audio. So now, to help defend them in court, they're being trained to say these things so they can be able to get off on charges. That's just facts right there.
Right.
Okay, and then later they kept the audio going, and I heard one of them damn thugs, demons say, "Oh, he was trying to grab for his weapon." Hey, you see that? He was trying to grab for your weapon. I saw that. He kept saying it as if it was factual, and none of the video and none of the body cam video nor the camera caught him trying to reach for a weapon. Only thing he was trying to do was get home to his mother because he was being violated, and none of those officers, including the one white officer that has not been brought up on charges, have not been fired, who was the first person that fired a pepper spray in his face and told him, I hope you get beat down. And he's to those effects, something to that effect.
Well,
I'm
well, I
sorry.
appreciate that, but again, I do think that based upon research, allegedly, I think the white officer did get fired, and that everybody that was involved, even they said that the fireman that was on scene also was fired. With that, but I want to go back, Brian, because you brought up about training and you brought up about resisting and you brought up about the overall power of policing. But let me ask you, so I know you real big on reform. So do you think that police reform is a must, or you just basically saying that it just depends on the training?
I have a lot to say about that, but I do
Well,
what
I mean, but go ahead, go ahead.
okay. Police reform is necessary. The training needs to be revamped.
I
And I
disagree
think
with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I
okay,
disagree with that.
okay.
And I
What do
tell
you
you,
disagree with?
and I tell you why. I don't think it has nothing to do with the training. I think what it need to be doing is we need to start holding these officers to a certain accountability. Now, shout out to the city of Memphis, because I want to say this. The city of Memphis, we seen 5 black officers. You brought up you alluded to some past arrests of unarmed men who was killed by officers. You did bring that out.
Right.
But we seen that 5 black officers in Memphis. So shout out to the chief and shout out to the city of Memphis for coming down. They was fired, they was arrested, and they was charged less than 20 days.
There you go.
So
Now
that showed
here-
me that, okay, if another situation happened like this, which I'm tired of seeing, I'm gonna say, hey, wait a minute. Y'all arrested those 5 black officers less than 20 days. And y'all fired them, y'all charged them, and y'all fired them, y'all charged, and y'all arrested them. So what's the hold up when it takes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years? I think that we need to start treating the same way you beat pepper spray, because I really think they got mad because they got pepper spray. If you notice, they was really hot that they pepper sprayed themselves. But at the end of the
idiots.
day, they mad. At the end of the day, treat people how you want to be treated. And I guarantee you, if somebody beat them, hit them with a baton, punch them, tase them, cuss at them, because let's see, Tyree Nichols was the only one that's calm. I thought police is supposed to de-escalate a situation. They was
They-
escalating a situation.
that's why
And
I
you
go
brought out a
back to
good point.
training. That's why I go back to training.
I think they was
Training.
properly trained. I think
No,
I think
I
they was properly trained. I think that the fact of the matter is they just use and they just think, because think about it. They was a part of a unit, and the unit was called Scorpions. All right, that we didn't even get to and dive in, and that was they have it here. It's streets crime operation to restore peace in our neighborhoods. So the neighborhoods, the people depending on you. So somebody had to hold these 5 black officers in between of ages 24 through 33 of age, right? They had to, because they had to go through some type of academy to be a part of a special unit. That just
got it.
don't You just don't become an officer and say, hey, we just gonna take him. He's been on the force 90 days. So no, all of these was hired back in 2018. They was hired anywhere between 2018 to 2020. They've been on force. So they was, as we quote unquote, spec folk. In the military,
Mhm.
you had someone called spec folk specialists, and they do the special operations. So you had to have some type of training. So I'm just saying, treat people how you want to be treated. Let's do these 5 black out, because now they put them in a cell with these prisoners and let them get beat, stumped, tased, and mistreated the same way they did Tyree Nichols. And every officer that does this, charge their family to a max of $2 million fine that you have to pay if you take someone's life.
Okay. Let me before you continue, man. There's a lot to unpack in what you just said. You disagree about the training. What I'm trying to say, the training dictates how the officers interact and conduct themselves in the field.
Right?
Okay. It goes back to they're being trained to say, stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting repeatedly when they engage a civilian in trying to detain them. That's a training, that's a mindset. When I say revamp training, to get at that very aggressive posturing and de-escalation of something that nobody should lose their life over a traffic violation, a minor infraction. No one should be losing their lives over it. Or selling loose cigarettes. They should not be choked to death. Or allegedly giving a fake $20 bill in the grocery store and they lose their lives over it. So
Right.
policies, training, and maybe building up other agencies that could that could be involved in non-emergency responses. If someone is suffering from a mental illness or having an episode, or someone medical, or someone in that psychological field, maybe redivert funds that will normally go to a police department to help build up agencies that can be called upon instead of a weapon coming to a situation, actually professionals that can be able to de-escalate the situation. And if further police is required, then they come, but not initially.
Max, I kind of agree, but I still disagree. Max, how do you? What's your take on this in the proper training?
I kind of
Uh,
agree with Mr. Bryan, like when he say like instead of like bringing polices with guns to certain situations, like I feel like somebody else should be called because obviously it ain't working. Too many people dying for no reason,
right.
and I feel like even with the procedures, like I don't know, like I can't say because I was thinking maybe they should start doing something where the police don't come up to nobody personally. Like if they could find a way where everybody stays safe from a distance, then maybe that'll help too. Like
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
I
say
don't I don't.
only
Go ahead.
way I feel like a gun, anything should be involved is if somebody else got a gun. If you see these people waving guns, basically about to kill somebody or harm everybody, then yeah, call a gun force. But for traffic stop, all our neighborhoods and all that, I feel like maybe they shouldn't have no guns. But then some people may be like, well, other people got guns, so why shouldn't they have guns? Then police killing people, maybe some of these people need to start firing back at the police. But then again, that may not really. So I don't know.
Right. Well, I agree. I agree. And I agree with both of what you're saying. I'm saying based upon the training because you just said it, Max. You just said it. With the policies and procedures, right? Yes, they are trained. However, they choose to do what they want to do. That's why people are losing their lives, Max. Think about it. If you ever worked a 9 to 5 job, right? You come on a job, you might be able to drive forklifts, whatever you want to do. A job train you. They give you a certification. They approve of you to work in a certain way. They train you the way they want you to do the work. They let you sign a consent form. They make you sign a policy and procedures, what to do, what not to do, to be on your phone, not to be on your phone, right? Over the courses, when people start being they do their little 90 days, then they do their little 6 months, right? They do their year. Then they say, you know what? They get complacent. They say, I'm gonna be on my phone today. Forget what I sign. Forget what I hold. Forget what I get paid for. I'm still gonna choose to do what I want to do. And what those officers do. So yeah, you can train, you can enhance the training all you want. I'm saying for it's blue, check these officers because you got bad cops out there. Now I want to break this down in contents. You do have good polices. You do have proper policing that are taking place. But what we are seeing is different than what we know. And that's what the problem lies in. Yes, I agree with what both of you guys saying, and I wholeheartedly stand with you. And I appreciate y'all coming on Wheel Why. All I'm basically saying is that when you choose as an officer due to what you want to do, and you do not resort to the training, okay, uh, step one, as a police officer, what should I do? I should identify myself, right? I should, whatever I should do, whatever the police is supposed to do, you should follow that. You know,
But
people
that
just
goes
doing
to
what they want to do.
right, but that goes to proper procedure and training. If an officer
Right,
walks up to a civilian and allegedly he has a traffic violation and you walking up on an unknown situation, you don't know what is going on, you don't know what's happening in the car, you don't know who's
right,
in the car, there
right,
should be an identification to protect the civilian as well as to protect you. So they know
correct.
I am an officer. I'm not someone that's just rolling up on you, a gang member or a gang activity or what have you. There should be a simple level of identification, identifying myself that I am not a threat and I'm
So,
approaching you
so
because
Brian,
you conducted a
I don't mean to cut you off. You a father, correct?
correct.
Have you
Yes.
have you had these conversations with your son on what to
Absolutely.
do and what not to do when you get pulled over
Absolutely.
by an officer? Right.
Absolutely.
But sometimes an officer still can get listen, I get pulled over all the time. I done got pulled over several times. And I went home because at the end of the day, I know my rights. Police need to know theirs. And if they are being distraught, get up out of the, they being distraught with me. Okay. All right. But what I am gonna do is this. I'm gonna already know what to do and what not to do, what to say, what not. I just feel like Tyree Nichols got caught up in a situation where these officers chose to didn't follow the blue code. And that is what you said, the training, right? They resorted to do what they want to do. All right. So I say to challenge these scorpion units. All right. So the question is, what should we do to implement and reinforce police policies and good policing?
Well, number one, the one thing that I don't believe we touched on is that good cops need to step up and be the voice, the change agent, when they see a bad officer doing crooked and bad things. There is a situation a couple of I want to say a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, there was a female officer that was on site where she saw a senior officer, a sergeant, jump into a car. The person was already handcuffed. And because he was amped, he wasn't de-escalating, she jumped in and pulled him out of the situation, and that officer turned around and grabbed at her neck and pushed her up against a vehicle. See,
Oh
that's
yeah, I
the
saw
kind of
that.
thing. See, that's the
I
kind
saw
of
that.
the when you try to step up, those are the kind of instances. I'm pretty sure there are many, many, many more that we don't know about when officers try to stand up and they boycott them, they sabotage their careers, they write them up for insubordination and ended up getting them fired because they stood up against the blue wall. But until good officers start going at those bad officers, we're not going to have the major changes that need to happen.
Yeah,
So,
No, no,
I
but
agree with you, but I think
I
but
disagree. I disagree. Go ahead, Max. I disagree
I
with that.
I agree with him, but like I said earlier, I feel like maybe the procedures do need to be changed. Like maybe they shouldn't just be going up on people. And like when they kept telling Tyree stop resisting and he was calm and like they kept trying to get him on his stomach, maybe they need new procedures as well. They don't put people on their stomach because
Right.
obviously it's not comfortable and you could barely breathe and all that. So I feel like it go back to the procedures as well. Like just new things need to be brought up, like, for them to learn and do because obviously the old ways ain't working.
Just like being Crump. I'm sick and tired of him. I just got a question for you guys, and you guys can just say one sentence, if you could, on how you feel about this. It don't have to be long. It don't have to be a long paragraph. But do you guys feel like is he the only attorney out there? Now I know he got a team. I do know he got a legal team. But is he the only attorney because he don't know that he messing their cases up? He be messing it every interview and every time you speak on someone. You are a lawyer. I have a family lawyer. I have people that my close friends that lawyer, and they tell you anytime it's under a legal investigation, don't speak on it. But he go on interviews. He go on podcasts. He get telephone call. He go on TV shows, and he be talking about the case. All you're doing is helping these 5 black officers, attorneys drill you. And then we wonder why, oh man, they only get 12 years, 10 years. Because Ben Crump be speaking on something that he don't know nothing about. I just want to ask you guys, do you guys feel like I think he takes advantage of, and this is just my honest opinion, he take advantage of people who can't afford attorneys. So he goes in to represent them. We gotta start more black attorneys have to start stepping up to represent me. I'm so glad that he wasn't a part of Ahmaud Arbery. He was there representing, but he wasn't actually attorney. And shout out to Ahmaud Arbery mother for having somebody else represent that case. But do you guys feel that way about Ben Crump? Just getting checks. He looking at death as checks, then looking at officers being checked legally.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he getting paid under the table, like, 'cause some of them work like that. Like, okay, whenever you get this person, whatever, they might be like, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Then they get paid on the table to execute these people and send them away. And he might be. I'm not saying he is, but maybe.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Bryan?
Hey, the whole thing, everyone in the circle, the word on the street, he's an ambulance chaser. Whenever there's an issue of black, someone that's, been killed by police, he's right there to start representing them. I think he does do a disservice because yes, you see his face, but if you see him all the time, it then becomes he's always the one representing. So it kind of, in my opinion, dilute the importance of the particular case. I think he don't need to be the face for every case. He just need to get involved through other lawyers. Let them be the face, so they can show a fresh look. Because every time I see, Ben Crumple on TV, I thought, oh man, there's another case going on. What's happening? I think there should be other lawyers, and I think there are well capable lawyers out here that can handle a case and get justice.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all for helping me see that. That's all I wanted to do. Man, you guys brought out some good points. Bryan, I know you brought up you know what? I 92% agree with you. The 8% that I disagree in when you talked about the good officers, I'm not if I'm a police chief, I'm not holding the good officers to make the bad officer or hold them to a certain accountable. What I think a policy that need to be implemented is, and I want you guys to listen to me. And if you are at home, maybe this policy need to be implemented. Okay. Anytime that there's a traffic stop or anytime there's any accident, right? I don't care if you've been on the force for 10, 15, 20 years, because obviously we see it don't matter. If you look at Dante Wright, this lady was this lady mistaken her. She was on the task force for 20 years, right? And she mistakenly forgot her taser for a gun, but you gave this so again, what I think a policy that I never heard somebody say, and this is a new policy that I hope get pushed because we don't know our rights. There was an incident one time where I got into it with an officer. Well, I didn't agree with what he said, and he said, "Hey, what happens if I don't want to sign it?" I said, "I tell you what, let me read this copy, and in the meantime, I want to talk to your supervisor." All right. Once I sign it, the deal is I sign it, you let me speak to your supervisor. Right. He called his supervisor out. I got an understanding. She apologized about the situation. She said she was going to have a talk with him, and everybody went home. So the number one thing that I think should happen in situations. Anytime that there is a dispatch call to domestic violence, to a traffic stop, wherever the infraction is, whatever officer that is on scene have a lieutenant, a captain, or a supervisor also to pull them over. So, for example,
They
if I
already do
get
that.
pulled over, not all the time, not all the time. We don't sit. Not all the time. We don't sit. We didn't see it in this one. We're talking about the
Yes, there was
Tyree
a supervisor
Nichols.
on scene. There
Well,
was once.
allegedly,
But that
allegedly,
but that may be the
allegedly.
problem. Stop calling all these backup when it's only one person.
But
'Cause if
when
if
they
they didn't
call their
call backup, it
backups,
wouldn't have been 5 people jumping one person. Maybe
right?
he woulda
But
had a chance to live if it was one-on-one.
we got to go back. We got to go back to how working is. Everybody has a clique, right? Nowadays, everybody got a clique. They got a best friend. They got a homeboy, right? And cops are friends. These 5 cops was friends. So think about it. If you driving in a car, you can be coming out of the store. Let's say you my brother Max. What you are, right? And we both are polices, right? You in East Savannah, I'm in West Savannah, right? And Bryan is also as a police, right? Let's say you on a call, you at a traffic stop, right? And all I hear is, you know, start a backup. I hear your name, and I know me and you, we've been cool for 5, 6 years. We done gained a relationship. Our kids play with each other. We talk on a daily basis. We talk about getting criminals off the street. But I hear that Max is in trouble. I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna put I'm coming. I'm coming right away. I'm putting 100 miles, 160 to get to you. And I don't know what's going on. When I get to you, I'm already mad at the victim. I'm not even you can be the one that did something wrong. But because I'm your homeboy and because you my brother in a police form, oh man, my brother in trouble. Who know? The Demetrius Haley and Emmett Martin was the one that took the initial stop. Darius Bean, Justice Smith, when they heard about it, oh man, I gotta go help Demetrius. Oh, I gotta go help Martin. They in trouble, right? And then they got themselves involved. So what I'm saying is they do call backup, but backup need to get in a situation where you're looking at because they said, oh, long as ain't no police gonna get her. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. There's YouTube videos out there where when someone has came out, let's say an officer is shot in the foot, he's grazed, but he say he fine. But there's a guy that's shot in the head and in the chest. Police officer ain't caring about that. They're gonna let you sit and die, but they gonna make sure that they best friend, they homeboy, they police officer, they partner is okay. They don't care about that. Nobody cares.
When your
And until
emotions are
we
unchecked, people die. If you
correct,
can't go into a situation and maintain control of your emotions, people die. And that's what's happening right now with police officers. Either they don't have the experience or they have been vetted properly or what have you, because I guarantee you, if things are going to come out about each one of these officers' prior history, and it's already coming out. One of the officers was the president of one of the fraternities, and there was alleged complaints about harassment and physical abuse for pledges. It's starting to come out that there was a history of violence with one of the officers, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be many.
right.
It is a point of controlling your emotions because people die, innocent people die when they could be brought to justice. Let the justice system do the talking. You're not the judge, jury, and execution. And oh, by the way, when I first heard it was 5 black officers, I already knew they were going to be brought up on charges, and they should have been. They should have been fired and they should be indicted. Because there was another instance where a black officer ended up killing a white woman who was from Australia, and without question, as soon as I knew he was Muslim American officer that did this, they charged him. They threw the book at him. I already
Right.
knew it without
Right.
even thinking about it. So there is a racial component to it because we're talking about an instance where a white officer was involved and you don't even hear anything about him. He was relieved of his duties. That didn't mean he was terminated. There's a difference. He's still
Okay, well
getting
maybe
paid.
maybe I need to go back and do my research because I was told that, but like you say, you can't really hear everything that you hear. But we running out of time, so real quick, appreciate you guys coming on the show. Um, if you can see one thing happening to make everybody being at ease, because people are fed up. The trust level in police has went up high. So when people see it, it 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 has brought so much damage upon other police, so like you said, Bryan, with the good officers, you know. So if you want to see one thing happen, keeping Tyree Nichols and his family in mind, but if you can see one thing happen, what would it be? And uh, the floor is you got. The floor is yours.
I'll let you go, Max, first.
I say let the people choose who they want to, be the police in the community. Like if we gotta have a certain amount of polices, let the people vote just like we gotta vote for the president, politicians, and all that type of stuff. Let us see who gonna be like. Say I'm over here in like East Savannah, somebody in West Savannah and downtown area. Get y'all little group of polices. Let the people that live in these areas pick the people, and let the people give them the procedures and everything, like tell them how they want to be treated, how they want them to come up to them and all that in certain areas. And I feel like once we come to a common ground with that, then maybe it'll be better, like for each community. So if your community like, oh, this is okay over here, so oh boy shouldn't be over there policing when he should be over here doing this over here. So I feel like that may be a help if they start letting the people pick.
Right. I
Okay.
like that, Max, with the common ground. Bryan.
These officers, in result, should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. That's what I want to see. Secondly, I want to see where was the failure? Where was the failure in reporting when 3 or 4 days prior to that, that same unit was involved with another incident with a civilian, and they complained to the department, made official complaint with the department 3 to 4 days prior to that same unit killing Tyree Nichols. What happened to that process? I'm telling you, there are major issues with information flow. If there are improper conduct of officers, who's vetting that complaint, and who's holding those officers accountable prior to someone dying? Now there's a big involvement when quite possibly Tyrese Nichols could be alive right now if someone had acted on the complaint of that one civilian prior to 3 days prior to him losing his life. So I would like to see a better process for when civilians make a complaint about an officer, that they actually take in consideration what the complaint is and look into it.
Can I
Well,
say one
well,
more thing? I just want to
yeah,
say
go ahead.
like basically like I know y'all probably feel the same way, but like just rest in peace to like everybody that lost their life to police brutality, not just in America but all over the world. Cause I know they suffering too from some of they people in power that's messing over their community. So
Good,
Yeah.
good point, fellas. Well, I appreciate you guys breaking that down and giving you guys such a such a way that can open the people to a light to see that it take voices like these to get the message out there.
Mhm.
It take voices like these. And we're gonna end this show, but before we end and before we close, remembering Tyree Nichols, who cried out for his mother. And I just want people to take a second right now. 3 doors down from his mother house.
80
And he was
yards.
crying, mother. So justice for Tyree. Normally, we end the show. I let you guys explain what you guys got going on. How can people follow you? But I think at this time, and Brian and Max, if you okay with it, I think we should just do uh, a moment of silence for Tyree. Well, thank you for that, fellas. I'm sure the people at home can see that it is good people out there who care, even though we was able to see disgrace to humanity. Um, we still are in support of situations like these. We got to stick together. We got to stick together peacefully. We cannot resort back to anger or evil, but what we can do is use our voice to call these officers out. Justice, justice, justice for Tyree Nichols. I am SHAQ. If you guys don't have any final words, Brian Greenlee, Max, my little brother, thank you guys for coming on the show. I think we hit all elements. We kind of agreed, we kind of disagreed, we similar, but one thing we all understand is that when we have when we have family members who are pulled over by the police, we just want them to make it home safely. And unfortunately, Tyree Nichols didn't have an opportunity to do that. So thank you guys for coming on the show. I am SHAQ. We are why because we are why not. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is not about numbers. This is not about likes. This is about police reform. And this is about Tyree Nichols and what we've seen. So I hope that this little small clip of this little small segment in this clip finds some type of satisfaction. And if you're a parent, have these conversations. If you're a police officer, have these conversations. Build seminars to get the message out there, to let people know what to do and what not to do so everybody can be safe. I am SHAQ. We are why because we are why not. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I am SHAQ. We are why not. We are why because we are why not. Y'all know. Go ahead and drop that beat. See you.